Right, well, welcome again. I slight little technical itch there. Um, just hope it keeps it up and running this time. Yeah. So, welcome to Abstract Simulator, people. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and I'm here in a place called Enfield. I'm on a piece of land somewhere. Right, so yeah, there was a bit of a lag there. So like, I'm just keeping an eye on things here. So yeah, we're here in Enfield, and I'm here on a thing that's kind of like a permaculture land. Just gonna do that so I can show you. There's lots of things going on. Structures, temporary structures for storage and all sorts of stuff. But over here is where the growing's going on, and the title here is actually to explain what is there and what is the Urban Garden Initiative, the UGI, the UGI. So, so let's start with the abstract simulation, which is the heavy bit. So let's get the heavy bit out of the way, and then I'll do a little a scout around on the site to show you what's going on and what's being planned and what's being moving forward with the project that I'm making you aware of here. So, Abstract Simulator. So originally I ran about 2021, 22. I was doing a few videos going around demonstrations, and I called the channel Auntie Skeptics. I thought, now I need to change things around. What can I change to a name? So I thought of keeping it with as the AS. I came up with the name Abstract Simulator. And this is probably not an easy thing to say when you've had a few bevies, but like, um, so why did I think of that name? Well, look, listen, we are being told lots of things either via the media. We've been told lots of things via different circles being classified as misinformation, fake news, and all that kind of thing. And this basically, the idea to do videos under that name is to actually show you what is actually real, and everyone's got their own perspective on what is real out there, of course. And even though I'm actually videoing off my phone into your phone or your computers or wherever you're seeing it, yeah, there's a sort of form of like simulation on which I'm portraying what I see and what's going on. But then it is actually real because it's like, pan around, that's what you see. Although it's on your thing. So like, I'm just like trying to be like a little bit of sort of a realist, and yeah, I am a fan of, and I do like the green. Green is my favourite colour, of course, and I just basically like see the world being sort of like portraying a lot of propaganda, a lot of misinformation, and it's just like, let's bring it let's bring it organic, let's bring it raw, let's bring it sort of like to where people can actually see what is actually going on and what you can actually do, which is real. So that brings me on to sort of the Urban Garden Initiative. Now we all know that there's a problem in the food department in the old supermarkets, and so it's a good thing that I've kind of sort of like hooked up with a few projects out there I'm gonna take my face away and I'm gonna just give you a little bit of scenery. Oh, there you go. So you can have a little look around whilst I'm gassing on. And really, like, the idea of the Urban Garden Initiative is like a lot of people have got allotments, their own back gardens. They probably even, like here, acquired themselves. We've got a little guy or jester over there. There's a lot of like land out there that's actually sort of like being disused and could be actually used for growing. And the idea of like UGO is basically to sort of like try and create a community-based projects in which even if you've got like a street with your friend Dave next door, and he's got tomatoes, and then like Alfred, door next down, he's got tomatoes. Michael, which is like a few doors down the road, he's actually really good at plumbing, or and someone else has got good electronics or roofing or whatever. And the idea is basically a way of actually sort of like bringing the community together. So that's the whole idea of the project, is like common unity. One moment, let the old transport go past. Nice one. The idea of the Urban Garden Initiative is for everyone to be a Oogie. You can do like a channel and like say, right, I'm doing the Oogie. I'm doing like the Urban Garden Initiative. I'm bringing in flowers, mainly fruit and veg, because we all need to eat. Problem sooner or later. And even if you sort of like can encourage your neighbour, right, or get a neighbour to help you because either you're too old or you can't do a heavy lift or whatever, it's just bringing in the community, and you can actually self-govern your community by having people who are impartial to stop having conflicts with your neighbours and stuff like that. Oh yeah, well you only gave me a few tomatoes and I gave you a load of spuds the other day. It's sharing is caring, like, you know. And that's really like the whole idea of like having projects like this that we can actually work with and work towards, and work with people who are either struggling, and you know, we don't need this 15-minute city stuff. Yeah, we can actually sort of like debunk the supermarkets, debunk the actual system that's actually out there that are actually sort of like trying to starve us to death, right? And you think I'm sort of like harebrained, kind of like tin hat conspiracy realist, but the idea is basically this is what we all should be working towards as common folk, right? Just for like common unity, so like common community. And that's my aim. That's my objective, or that's what I like to see everyone's aims and objectives. To go out and sort of like help people. I've already uttered that. So that's the idea behind the Urban Garden Initiative. Is like joining in like community halls, sharing your foods around like a farmer's market, but more like sort of like community based, getting together, having meetings, checking out exactly what the council are doing, right? You got to scrutinise them little buggers, right? Because they're the ones who are actually sort of like making sure we are not going to, we are the ones who are going to struggle. Hello. And so like, that's the aims and objectives. Don't worry about Mr. Announcer out there. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be speaking to him later. You know, maybe sort of like get the Urban Garden Initiative on the antennae. Yeah. So I'm going to show you around. Look, they've obviously sort of like, So here, they've covered this up. There's apparently they've been growing a lot here. Let me I hope I've covered a load of information. If not, it'll be great to sort of like give me a comments. Sergi M on Facebook, Abstract Simulator on YouTube, and I'm about on the old Twitty. I'm about on the old. I'm on a few things actually, but I will put in the comments below to sort of like have a look on Twitter. I need to set up what do you call it, Telegram. So we're all covered up at the moment, and a lot. I've noticed on a lot of allotments and stuff that I go to that they're actually covered up to stop the weeds. But as you can see, there's a few weeds about. There's a great little site here, and so yeah, link us up on that. If you're on Facebook, yeah, check it all out. I'm going to be doing loads more other videos based on projects like this, maybe sort of like probably established projects, including the hydroponics. So there's lots going on. We're actually doing a little bit of tidying up at the moment in the back, just to make it look a little bit more desirable. So for the 18th of March, when they're going to actually have an open day here, all that's going to be sort of like put up. Yeah, well, I'm hoping you're enjoying what you see around. It's a bit of a you can actually sort of like get a lot of like rundown sites around, like, you know, industrial areas. I know there's a few people out there on the old Facebook that are actually doing very similar projects to this. Yeah, it's actually quite nice to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, it might be sort of like a little bit industrial, but it is actually sort of like a very workable project in which we can, or you guys can actually set up. So yeah, I'm going to take you down to the old this bit here again, because it's great. Now some of you might recognise a few of the old bods in the background, which is all good. So yeah, they I just want to show you this bit here, because like they actually got little bits of structure with Mr. Jester over there, and so I've only just kind of like more or less turned up here, and I'm kind of like just scouting the area, knowing, just giving bits of advice. And that's even if you're like those type of people who can actually sort of like give out advice, because you know you've done gardening, or you're an expert in I don't know, solar panels, hydroponics, drainage, filtration systems. You know, they've got talking about filtration systems. They've got a nice little pond, and this is probably where I'm going to sort of like bring it to the end on here, because in a pond you've got a lot of algae. So in order to sort of like up my subscriptions and get more people to sort of like watch my videos, this is the place. This here is a place to up my algae rhythms, right? So like so if you look at that, yeah, like, subscribe, and please make a comment, right? And then if it does happen, might get some frogs coming out at one point. So yeah, like, subscribe, make some comments, tell me what, maybe even what I could do better with the video. And yeah, danger, deep water, danger, deep water there. You know, I wouldn't want to have a bath on that. So yeah, well, thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the next one. Alrighty, later on.